What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of Sharp Side Saturdays. I'm Andrew Gambus. I've got some great guests with me today. Brand new show every Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. The goal of this show is to be concise, to be helpful, and to be different from everything else that you're watching. So I bring in some of the best cappers from every sport. We're each going to give one of our favorite bets for today in our respective sport. I'm going to go around the horn. Everyone's going to say what their bet is and why they're making it. And then at the end, I'll give them the floor again to promote themselves. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it to Charlie Disturco for his best MLB bet of the day. Charlie is plus 34 units on this MLB season, which is super impressive. So what do you got today, Charlie?
Yeah, I'm heading out to Houston. I'm taking the Angels in the first five money line here. Right around plus money. Shohei Ohtani against Jose Urquidy. There's not much you could say that's bad about Shohei Ohtani. His xFIP, expected ERA, both around his ERA. He's posting career best in walk rate, strikeout rate, expected slugging, and he's the Astros killer. 24 and 2/3 innings, 15 hits, 3 runs, 38 strikeouts against the Astros this season. And opposite him, Jose Urquidy, 3.51 ERA, but expected indicators right around a run higher than his actual ERA, career worst in expected batting average, and his barrel rate a concerning 10%. He's pitching the contact. His strikeout rate has dipped, so he can't blow it by you. He's getting lucky with a 259 BABIP, and despite shutting the Angels out last time through 7, I think that this is the perfect buy spot on the Angels. You're getting Shohei Ohtani as an underdog, and over the last 14 days, the Angels' bats are actually better than the Astros. They're right around league average, while the Astros are in the mid-20s. So love getting Ohtani as an underdog here over the first 5 innings against the Astros.
Yeah, and as a Yankees fan, I'll definitely be rooting against the Astros. So let's go, Ohtani. Next up, we've got Jack McGuire. Jack was going to talk about his favorite soccer bet of the day, but all the games got canceled, which I didn't even know was possible. So he's going to give us his favorite college football bet of today. So far, he's been crushing the first few weeks of college football. I think he's up about 4 units. So, Jack, what do you like today on today's slate?
Yeah, the Queen died, so they had to cancel all the games in the EPL. I don't really feel confident in the other leagues, but I will say I'm going out west, late kickoff, and I'm going to ride with the BYU Cougars, BYU minus 2.5. If there's a team, I haven't seen a team overhyped and overrated in the AP poll like Baylor in a very long time. I think Baylor – They were good last year, but they were a team that they didn't deserve to win the Big 12 championship game. I didn't think they deserved to win the Big 12 at all. Yeah, my power ratings had them as a middle of the table team in the Big 12. Even at the end of the season, I thought Oklahoma was better. I thought Texas was better. I thought Oklahoma State was better. They'll lose a lot on defense, which I do think is Dave Aranda, who used to be LSU's defensive coordinator, was the LSU's defensive coordinator, won the national championship in 2019. That's his calling card. BYU is a team that, always is good, but this year I think they really got it humming. They have Jaron Hall at quarterback. Last week they scored 50 points. And BYU at home, it's going to be a raucous environment. The Mormons don't get enough credit for having a raucous environment. 10:15, I think the kickoff is, maybe 10:30. It's on ESPN. I'm really hyped for this. I think this is just not a blowout, but I see BYU winning by 10-14. The running game, they're just going to run it down. They're going to run it down Baylor's throat. And I see not an easy victory, but a solid victory for BYU. And finally, Baylor, who's ranked 9th in the AP, falls off. I see them as a team that does not end the season ranked at all. So nothing against Baylor. They're just this is going to be a rebuilding year for them. And with Dave Aranda, they'll be like a top 50 team. But BYU's a solid top 15 team, in my opinion, at home. Big win for them. They know this is a big opportunity. I think they have playoff aspirations this year. So I'm going to ride with BYU at 10-15 tonight, minus 2.5.
Love it. Yeah, us Jets fans are pretty familiar with BYU. Hopefully, Zach Wilson will be back in a few weeks. Speaking of the NFL, next up, we've got Betting with Bush. He finished the preseason on a 6-1 run, looking to continue that into week 1. So glad the NFL is back. Tell me, what do you like tomorrow?
Andrew, appreciate you letting me be on the stream. It sucks that the game's not today. I love all y'all's bets so far. I'm tailing everybody's bets so far, 100%. But I got Texans +8. This line is 7 right now. I'm buying back up to 8. It originally opened at 8 and then dropped to 7. I think that that's a little bit of sharp money going on to the Texans right there. I got some reasonings behind it, though. I did not even I looked it up this morning, and I knew that the Colts were 0-5 in their last 5 Week 1 games. I didn't realize they were 0-8. They've lost the last 8 Week 1 games outright to really bad teams. I'm talking like a Broncos when they weren't good, Detroit Lions when they weren't good, Cincinnati when they just started in 2018. The Chargers in 2019 was probably their best team that they played, and they lost that game. Jags in Seattle recently. And it's just like, that shows you that there's something in the organization that they're overlooking, either the offseason or they have something wrong within the program when it comes to starting the NFL. They're not doing it well. And I understand that that can be a motivating factor, but it's also a trend that I do kind of like. Another reason why I also like it is Matt Ryan is on a brand new team. If you want to see how brand new players on brand new teams look at Allen Robinson Week 1. He was wide open about 15 times. They didn't even throw in the ball. They don't trust him. So I do think that it's going to take a second for Matt Ryan to get adjusted. We're playing in Houston. The line is +8. I don't even have to worry about a touchdown if they're up 7-0. I'm still covering. I'm a believer in Davis Mills. I really am. The kid can play, man. He's from Stanford. That's a smart football program. And I like Davis Mills and Dameon Pierce. And then lastly, man, the Texans got blown out by the Colts both times last year. Well aware of that. Motivation to me is a huge deal. The whole organization knows that. This is their revenge kind of game. I actually like the Texans outright. Sounds crazy, but I really do. So give me +8 all day long. That's my 5-unit max, and I appreciate you, boys.
Yeah, love it. Definitely looking forward to seeing how the Texans do this year. That 0-8 for the Colts in Week 1 is a staggering stat, so that's very helpful. Guys, if you haven't liked already, subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Brought these guys in to talk about all different sports. I'm going to touch on my favorite UFC bet tonight, UFC 279. Obviously had a ton of shakeups, but the Alatang Haley versus Chad Anheliger fight has been untouched. I like Haley Alatang here, -154 on Bet Online right now. I think that's a very cheap price. Big wrestling upside. He's the power upside. I think Anheliger kind of was fortunate in his last fight. Is a big favorite. He did not look like it. He's a 36-year-old bantamweight, which is ancient for that weight class. Won a split decision on the Contender Series as a big underdog. I think this is a really hard fight for him. The only edge I'd give him is volume, and even with that, I think Alatang is going to be landing the bigger shots. I think he's going to be the one landing the takedowns. I give him a durability edge, so I think -154 is a very cheap price for Alatang Haley here. So we've got Angels first 5, BYU spread, Texans spread, Alatang Haley money line. Those are the 4 plays for Week 1. I'm going to pass it back to Charlie. Tell everyone where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Charlie Disturco, DISTURCO, and on the Action Network app. It's where all my picks are logged. I do every sport, but baseball's my main shtick. So you can find me over there on Twitter with my below average tweets or on the Action Network app, but that's about it.
Cool. Jack.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at JackMacCFB. That's with as it's spelled here, MAC, no K. Then Instagram, TikTok, same thing. Unnecessary Roughness will have a new episode tonight, which is a college football podcast on the Barstool Sports Network. And any MMA fans, Spinning Back Fist will have another with Big Evan and Robbie. We'll have a recap of UFC 279 early next week. And outside of that, thanks for having me on, Andrew.
Cool. Bush, where can they find you?
Twitter, right here. That's the username. Oh, right here. Oh, down here. Betting with Bush. I'm not used to this. But, yeah, that's where you can find me.
Cool. Well, thank you all for joining for Week 1. Loved doing this. Hopefully we'll be back next week, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Let's cash these bets. Let's have a fun Saturday. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Please like and subscribe. See you next week.